Hey there, my name's Adam, and today I'll be doing a review of the Opteka Shoulder Support System. This is an actually very nice piece of gear that you can get for your camera, your DSLR. It's made out of anodized aluminum. It's actually really sturdy, especially for the price. I mean, I was pretty amazed when I first got this at the quality of the construction on it. The only thing that seems just a little bit flimsy is this piece right here. It's really thick gauge, like, I don't know, tubing of some sort. Just, it's solid metal, but it's still a little bit flexible. So that's the really only flimsy part about that. It's adjustable for your height, so that way if you have a viewfinder that needs to be like raised up a little bit closer to your face, you can lower it down if you need to, or raise this thing up a little bit. So it's kind of handy in that aspect. To mount the camera onto it, it's got a little twist knob down here and the 1/4" screw that sticks out of the surface up here, or is it 3/8? I don't know. It's a screw. It's the standard one that goes into like every camcorder and every DSLR that's out there. And it also can be adjusted from front to back, so that way if you need to slide it a little bit close to you, so that way, you know, if you have a camera where the viewfinder's out a little bit further, you can slide this back to accommodate for that. For what I was using it for, I just had it slid all the way out. And it provides a little bit of extra stability too, since it's butted up against the end of this end. As you can see, the metal just kind of wraps around there. But again, it's anodized aluminum, I think. Most of it's machined aluminum for the handle. I mean, really solid. The handle, you can pull the handle off if you want to reposition it somewhere else, because there's several screw holes, as you can see on the top of the plate here. So you can screw that straight down here if you like. You can screw it off to the side over here, off the side over there. So there's all kinds of different adjustments that can be made for it. And I'll go ahead and grab my Panasonic handheld camcorder and slap that guy on here and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like with the camcorder on it. Alright, so here I have my trusty little Panasonic HDC SD90. And again, like I said, it's just got the little standard 3/8" or 1/4" screw, whatever the heck that is on the bottom. Oh yeah, I forgot, it's also got this nice rubberized padding right here. So that way when you do mount the camcorder on there, it's got a good solid mounting surface and it doesn't really slide around too much. I mean, you don't have to crank down too hard on the knob to get it to really stay in place, which is great. Let me grab the handle here that I unscrewed earlier. Let's twist that guy back on there. And there you go. It's a nice little stable hand-holding solution for your small camcorder or DSLR. Works really well. There's a couple of options that you can get with it if you like. Well, actually, you can purchase them separately. Sorry about that. So, for instance, if you need even more stability and you're not really concerned too much with zooming in or zooming out with your camcorder, what you can do is you can order an extra handle. And I don't remember off the top of my head how much an extra handle is, but there we go, extra handle. Let's get that guy and screw that onto the other side. So this is where the ability to screw these handles into different locations on it really comes in handy. So this way now you've got even more support. So now you got your video camera with two hands instead of just the one. So when you're taking shots, you can really be stable. I mean, you're not going to get as shaky a footage as if you're trying to like use one hand and maybe zoom in or out. So if you got your subject in frame, you can zoom in, zoom out, or whatever, and then put your hand down here and just go about your merry way filming. And there's actually even more add-ons for this thing that I'll show you that you can purchase separately. Alright, so like I said, there were other options that you can get, and if you notice, there's actually a counterbalance weight. Actually a counterweight that you can get, so that way it really balances out your system. So if you look here, this weight is pretty evenly distributed between the camera, the handles, and then the weight on the back. And what does that get you? Well, when you're actually wearing it, you know, I wouldn't recommend doing this with an expensive camera. This is actually not a cheap one either, but still. Point being is that it's comfortable. You're not feeling like you're having to constantly either push up on the camera because the camera's weight's pushing back on you, and at the same point in time, you're not feeling like, you know, things are just uneven. And after a while, it may not seem like a big deal, but when you're running around filming for hours on end, after a while, it does get a little bit tiring. So having something like this to where it'll kind of counterbalance and keep everything nice and even, and with the additional mass, it makes your recording even more stable. So, I mean, if you're purchasing this thing, you're obviously interested in trying to keep your video footage from being shaky. So this, with the counterweight on the back of it, really does help a heck of a lot. You can buy additional weights, so you're not stuck with just the one weight. The plates themselves have screw holes in them, so that way if you get another weight, you could slap it right on top of this guy here. I actually bought 3 weights. At one point in time, I had a Panasonic HMC 150, which was, you know, a fairly decently weighted camcorder. And when you start adding on things like lights and other stuff like that, you start noticing that it becomes pretty front heavy. And so I try to counterbalance the whole system out with getting 3 of these weights. Not a good idea. There's a point where this, like I was mentioning earlier, where this wire here kind of comes into play, and it's too flimsy. So definitely I would recommend this for some of the lighter camcorders like this guy here. DSLRs probably works fantastic for. One of these days I'm going to get, I have a Sony Alpha that does 1080p, and I'll probably wind up mounting that on here too, just for the heck of it, and get some stable footage with that. It also has, and any camcorder that has like the anti-shake type of, you know, stabilization built into it, it'll just become even better when you have something like this to kind of really smooth out the action on it. And for the price, this was about 20 bucks. I don't remember how much the handles were. The whole system was pretty dang cheap considering you know what you get for it. I believe that just the frame with the shoulder pad and the top plate and one handle was about 80 bucks, I want to say. And again, for the quality of the workmanship on this thing, it was well worth it. I don't really use it a whole heck of a lot anymore because I've gone on to systems that are a little bit bigger. But if I ever need to like do some quick run and gun type stuff where I don't want to drag out my big old giant expensive gear and I just want to kind of get some footage real quick, I would definitely go for this system again. It's really, like I said, it's really comfortable, it's stable, and it gets pretty dang good footage too. So yeah, Opteka Shoulder Counterbalance System. I would recommend getting one, especially if you want to shoot some nice stable footage. You don't want to look like a bunch of shaky Blair Witch Project looking stuff. This will help you out.